Hey everybody, this is Loli Jane Animal Communicator and Energy Healer from animals-speak.com, and you're listening to Loli Jane Animal Communication Podcast, the show that promises to open your mind and heart to the amazing world of animal communication, energy healing, and what I like to call interspecies therapy. Thanks for joining me. In today's episode, I'll read you an interview I did with an online magazine in Brazil called Mystic Mag. I'm being interviewed by Miguel Amado on animal communication and what inspired me to take this journey. I hope you enjoy the show. First, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I'm a certified international professional animal communicator and pranic energy healer. I offer remote and in-person animal communication, whether they are alive or in spirit. I also offer pranic healing for trauma, injuries, pain, illness, disease, and behavior and emotional issues for both humans and animals. For the humans, I can provide spiritual guidance by channeling your angels and guides, or even do a past life regression. And if you've ever wanted to become an animal communicator, I teach animal communicator training workshops and provide one-on-one mentoring. Check out my website for workshop schedules at animals-speak.com or mindbodyspiritworkshops.com. Let's get started with the interview. Miguel Amado describes the interview as a conversation with an animal communicator, me, lit on fire. Loli Jane, as she says in this interview for Mystic Mag, after intensive training, she offers a wide variety of services and a lot of different animals and their different personalities. Check out this very interesting interview with Loli Jane and know more about her journey to understand better our pets. So Miguel asked me, when did you discover your gift and how long have you been working with this? And I answered, it started when I was 6 years old, when I lost my hearing. I grew up profoundly hard of hearing, so I became aware of communicating outside the normal means. When you grow up like that, you become very visual and gain some extrasensory abilities. I became very observant and visual and could read lips. Later on in my life, this developed into clairaudience and clairvoyance. When I was a child, I used to bring home animals all around the neighborhood, but I wasn't one of those people who grew up talking to animals directly. When I lived in Hawaii, I was doing sales in one of those activity booths, and in walks animal communicator Amelia Kincaid. We talked for 2 hours, and she literally lit me on fire. That was the seed. It started there. I could not stop thinking about it, and later on, I was fired from that job for not reaching my sales quota. I decided that my next job would be what I really was passionate about. I tried beekeeping for a day, and that was not it. Next, I tried jewelry making, and that was definitely not it either. Then I finally remembered meeting Amelia and became so excited about animal communication. Besides, by then I was already clairvoyant, an energy healer, and a channel, so it felt like this was my path. I looked for a training program, and I eventually went through a very intensive 2-year training program with mentoring for animal communication at the Gurney Institute of Animal Communication. And here I am, a certified professional animal communicator. Next, Miguel asked me, what are the main niches you encounter in animal communication when someone hires your services? Are there reoccurring specific problems in this field? My answer, well, I call myself an interspecies therapist and really get to the root of issues. It could be anything behavioral, emotional, physical, or health issues, end-of-life decisions, animals in spirit or past lives. I can also talk to animals already passed on. I can even help locate lost animals. I can get valuable, detailed information on physical issues or pain to help the veterinarian with a better diagnosis. I can also help resolve behavioral issues in the household, like relationship issues with other animals. I really help with the dreaded end-of-life decision by asking the animal if they are ready to leave their body. If they've already passed on, I can bring great relief to grief from losing your fur babies. I can also work with soul animals and past life regressions. I work with individuals or families and their animals and also do pro bono work for zoos, rescue sanctuaries. I love working with large animals in human care since they have shared with me that they are teachers for humanity. I've also worked with wild horse rescue sanctuaries. So then Miguel asked, you work with different animals. Does the work approach change significantly from one animal to another? How do you work with each animal? My answer, it depends. For instance, I was working with an orangutan at Honolulu Zoo. He had aggression issues with its mate and also needs to get a health check. I was trying to help the zoo staff get a health screening since he was around the age of 40, and like humans, they can have heart disease around that age. This orangutan would have thrown temper tantrums and not allow any vet checks. He was very agitated and angry. So I had a long talk with the orangutan and why he needed to get a health check and why he was beating up on his mate Violet. After the session, I discussed with the head zookeeper. She called me a couple of weeks later and she said, you're not going to believe this. She said not only was Rusty not throwing a temper tantrum, but he actually put his arm through the sleeve on the other side where the vet tech was standing and pointed to the spot on his arm that he wanted the blood draw. That was so amazing. Miguel then asked, it must be stressful for some animals to be in a zoo. Do you have another interesting zoo case to tell? My answer, I am writing 2 books and I keep talking about zoo animals because it is so fascinating to me. They have shared so much with me. I have always asked them what their message is for humans. And when we are talking and each and every one of those animals has shared with me that they are teachers for humanity. They also have very, very distinct personalities. I talked to a Malayan sun bear, an Asian elephant, a Sumatra tiger, 2 orangutans from Borneo, and I'm about to talk to a lioness, my next client. The animals were beyond amazing. One was the intellectual, the other was a walking geological library. The other one was an actual comedian, very funny and cracking jokes. They shared these phenomenal messages with me. This work that I am doing is way beyond me. It is so important to get the message of these animals out. They are pissed off that they chose to incarnate as teachers for humanity, yet not being heard or acknowledged for their high intelligence and to help awaken the humans. I have found so many people working with animals don't believe in animal communication. So I am an emissary for the animals to bring forth their messages. The next question from Miguel is, in regards to pets, what factors can commonly be connected to aggressive, disobedient behavior? My answer, I don't make assumptions or prejudgments. If the client tells me their animal is behaving in a certain way, I ask the client what actual behaviors there are so I can discuss specific behaviors with the animals. For example, if a client says, my dog is aggressive, I get the behaviors and I ask the animal how they are feeling emotionally or physically. If they don't volunteer that they are feeling aggressive, I can ask them how they feel when they are acting aggressively. In this case, there can be multiple causes. Sometimes they are overprotective because of mirroring a fear in a person. I've had a client with an aggressive animal and was very afraid when stepping out of the house because there were so many aggressive animals like pit bulls in the neighborhood. And many of these animals, these particular pit bulls, were trained for hunting, so they were super aggressive because of the hunting. So this person would feel fear during walks, and the animal would mirror the fear and become overprotective. There are 1,000,001 reasons, and we need to find out the cause through a therapeutic session with the animal. In this case, the person needed to work on her own fears before going on walks, and the animals needed to be thanked and made aware of mirroring his human. and then the animal and I can come up with solutions together to explore other ways of being protective without the aggression. The next question from Miguel was, do pets present the same cycle of maturity and development of humans? Is an old pet more mature in its behavior than a younger one? That's a great question. My answer: they are much more developed. We talk baby talk to animals because they are so cute, but they are not babies. They are highly intelligent and come to us in service because they are our soul animals and incarnate with us over and over again. Be it a cat, a dog, a horse, or a bird, they want to be in service to us, and that's why they're here with us. Domestic animals are in service to help us with our lessons. As I mentioned, animals in human care have shared with me that they chose this life and this incarnation to be teachers for humanity. It did not happen by chance. The last question that Miguel asked was, do you have a special message for pet owners out there? My answer: well, first, I wouldn't call them pet owners. They are pet parents or animal caretakers. The word owners denotes dominance and control. They are our equals. The message to anybody who is an animal lover is open your mind and do the research. Telepathy is a real science. The military are using it currently to doing new research with synthetic telepathy connected to AI. There are many studies on the field of telepathy, but we were all raised in a little box. Open your hearts and minds and see that this is a real possibility. You can find me on my website at animals-speak.com or mindbodyspiritworkshops.com for individual sessions on animal communication or energy healing and animal communication training and mentoring. If you'd like to read the episode in its entirety, you can find it on mysticmag.com. And I'll put the link in the description. That brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you enjoyed these interviews as much as I love doing them. I hope you feel inspired to explore what animal communication or animal telepathy is all about and follow your passions. Be sure to subscribe for more amazing episodes. Book your animal communication session now or check out my upcoming workshops and classes. You have nothing to lose and everything to gain, as well as opening your mind, heart, and spirit to your deep connection with your beloved animals. For more information, please visit my website at animals-speak.com or Loli Jane Animal Communication.com or mindbodyspiritworkshops.com. And please subscribe to my monthly newsletter for invites or classes, workshops, events, and the latest podcast. Join us next week for episode 25, Animal Communication and Getting Ready for a New Pet or Animal Companion. If you enjoyed today's episode, please be sure to subscribe, like, and rate us. This podcast was created, produced, and recorded